Please,
Yes.
yes, please share the presentation. Yes, this is my presentation. Stress and time management for teachers. So this is a very important topic right now for teachers. So let us see what we have to learn here today. Stress and management. The contents of my presentation are introduction, origin, types of stress, symptoms of stress, stages of stress, causes of stress, stressors for teachers, managing stress, managing teacher stress, time management. Next slide. Effects of poor time management, tips for time management, and benefits of time management. So let us try to discuss these issues in this presentation. Now let me start the presentation with introduction. Now we have two parts in this presentation. The first part is stress and the second part is time management. Both are interrelated. So stress is, first we will concentrate on stress and then we move on to time management. And then we will discuss the relationship between stress and time management also. Okay, so let me start first with stress. Now, what is stress? Stress is nothing but a state of worry or mental tension caused by a difficult situation. See, sometimes things happen unexpectedly. Sometimes we face things without knowledge. Sometimes we are thrust into situations which are very unpredictable. Okay, because life is always unpredictable. We don't know what will happen next. That is the mystery of life, isn't it? And sometimes this mystery gives us very unpleasant surprises. Some surprises are very nice in life, some are not. Now, such unpleasant surprises happen in life, then we get stressed. Okay. And one more reason for stress is we always tend to get scared what will happen next. Okay. Because we don't know the future, we are always worried about it. So that state of worry or mental tension which is caused by difficult situation is called stress. It happens when we feel pressure. Sometimes we have to give our best performance. And unfortunately, sometimes at that time we may not have be in good health, or maybe some other problem may come at the same time. So we feel stressed. And sometimes it is overwhelming. Sometimes the emotions are so high, the expectations are so high that people feel overwhelmed. They feel that they can't handle it. They are unable to cope it. So when we feel that we are unable to cope with something, we become stressed. So this is what stress is about. Can we have the next slide? Yeah, origin. Now, where does this word stress come from? Stress comes from Latin. Most of the words, they come from either Greek or Latin. So the word stress comes from Latin, and the Latin word, root word we call it. The root word is strictus, which means tight or narrow. And there is another root word called stringer, which means tighten. The word itself tells us, isn't it? If something is very tight and narrow, we feel very uncomfortable. Now, stress is something like that. You feel tight, narrow, you feel confined, you feel restricted, you feel you can't breathe when you are stressed, isn't it? So, that is how the word came into existence. It came from Latin word strictus or and stringer. Okay. Now, next. What are the types of stress? Now, before we talk about types of stress, we have to talk about this person called Hans Sale. Hans Sale is a person who first introduced the word stress into medical vocabulary. Okay. Now, stress is a very important word in medical vocabulary now because there are so many therapies, so many medicines, so many things associated with stress. So, that is how this word came into existence into medical vocabulary because of Hans Sale. Okay. Now, Hans Sale talked about four types of stress. What are they? Eustress, distress, overstress, understress. Now, Hans Sale said that in his theory, that little bit of stress is necessary for human beings. See, if we don't have any stress at all, he says people will become very lazy. They won't work much. They stop challenging themselves. They stop finding new things. So little bit of stress should be there, he says. Okay. So that little bit of stress which is good for us, which will push us forward, is called eustress. Eu means good in Greek. So he says eustress means good stress. Okay. Now opposite of that is distress. Dis means bad. Now, when you are distressed, you feel very sad, very depressed. You feel, some people may feel suicidal. Some people want to not to see anyone. See, such things also happen, isn't it? So, distress is the opposite of good stress. It is a bad stress. Now, next is overstress. When there is too much of stress, which is affecting your health, which is affecting your peace of mind, then that is called overstress. Now, there is another stress, under stress. Under stress means very less stress, but it is not good as you stress. Okay, that is the difference. Under stress means less stress, but still it is not good. Whereas eustress is something which is good. I hope I made the difference very clear. Okay. Now next slide. Yeah. What are the symptoms of stress? What happens when you feel stressed? There are a lot of physical changes, there are a lot of mental changes that happen when you are stressed. For example, you will feel very dissatisfied. You won't like the way things are happening. You won't like the way life is going on. Okay. And irritable. People who are stressed are very irritable. They get angry easily. They snap at people. They shout at people. And there is lot of anxiety. They keep thinking again and again about the same thing. That is when people become very anxious. They can't think of anything else. They will think only of one thing again and again, and that will make them distressed. Okay. And now next is scared. People who are stressed are scared about what will happen next. What will be the result of this? How am I going to face this? Now that is scared. Okay. And next, people who are stressed, if you joke with them, they get very angry. They lose the sense of humor because they're so stressed. They're focused only on one thing that if you go and tell them a joke, they'll slap you. It happens, isn't it? When you're very stressed, you don't want to hear to any happy things because you're completely focused on the problem which is at your hand. Next is depressed. Some people get very depressed when they are stressed, and most of such people, they try to commit suicides and all that. And next, overthinking. Overthinking is something which happens to even people who have less stress also. They overthink. Mostly people get stressed because they overthink things. They will think about the all permutations, combinations, all possibilities of something. That will make them stressed a lot. So these are the symptoms of stress. Next, please. Yeah. What are the stages of stress? Now, stress has three stages. Okay. The first stage is alarm stage. Now, in this alarm stage, people will understand, oh God, this is something bad is going to happen. You get an awareness that something is wrong. Okay, that is the starting point of stress. Okay, you have a deadline. Suppose you have a deadline tomorrow. Okay, some people start getting stressed 1 week before. Some people start getting stressed 1 day before. Some people start getting stressed 1 hour before. But whatever the time is, there is an awareness, a starting point for the stress. Now that is called the alarm stage. In alarm stage, people feel very helpless. They feel rejected. They feel very angry, irritated, and they may experience headaches also. Okay, mostly people get headaches when they are stressed. Now, second stage is resistance stage. In this resistance stage, it's very tricky. Okay, some people they feel they just want to leave everything and run away from the problem, flee, flight. Okay, they want to run away from the problem. Okay, that is one response. Opposite of that is they will ignore the problem. They will behave as if the problem is not there. They think that if they simply close their eyes, the problem will go away. But it won't go, isn't it? We all know it won't go. But still, people try their own methods to overcome stress. Okay, the first one is to flee, the second one is to ignore. Okay. Now, people who want to ignore, what they will do, they will take some substances. They will start smoking, or they may drink, or some people may use other narcotic substances or something. If the stress becomes too much, people will go to such things. Normally, people don't, but sometimes, in some cases, when people are not able to cope, they may use substances also. Third one is exhaustion stage. Now, sometimes the stress goes to such peak levels that people can't take it anymore. Okay, they simply fall sick. And mostly, people who are overstressed, they get ulcers. That is what usually happens. Commonly, people get ulcers or people get depressed. So these are the two things that happen in the third stage, which is called the exhaustion stage. Okay, next slide. Causes of stress. Now, what causes stress? As I told you, unpredictability of life. That's the main reason, but there are other reasons also. Let us see what they are. The first one is negative thoughts. Okay, all of us do new things every day, isn't it? We keep doing things. We may do something 100 times, but one not one, we may still fail. That is always there. We have to accept that as part of life, isn't it? So, whether you're doing something new or old, please don't think negatively. Don't start something thinking that I'm going to fail in this. That's a very, very wrong attitude, isn't it? See, if you defeat yourself first, then what is the use of doing something, isn't it? So, negative thoughts should be removed. That is the first cause of stress. Negative thoughts, thinking of failure all the time. Okay. And next, sudden changes in life. Now, sometimes you may have to shift to a new place. Sometimes, if you take a new course, one of the subjects may be very difficult. Okay. Sometimes something happens to your children and that makes you very stressed. See, sudden changes always happen in life. So they are one of the causes of the stress. And next is work or task. Sometimes the workload is too much. Okay. You have something important at your workplace coming up. Suppose sometimes we are, as teachers, we have inspections, annual inspections. Now, whenever the inspection happens, something happens at home at the same time. I think most of you have experienced it, isn't it? Something is very important happening at our workplace. Same time, some relatives may come, or somebody in the house falls sick, or sometimes you yourself become sick. Okay. Now, in such conditions, it creates lot of stress. And next, illness. Illness of yourself or your near ones always is difficult. It is very stressful. And next, financial problems. This is the biggest problem for stress, because financial problems, you really can't solve them very quickly also, isn't it? Because they have so many interconnected issues and it may take a lot of time. Okay, so that also creates stress. And of course, relationship problems. Relationship problems differ from person to person and they are deeply personal. So that is why I'm not going deep into it. But I think all of you know, when I say relationship problems, it means any relations between two persons, man and wife, or with in laws, or with parents, or with children, any relationship problems. Next, unsafe environment. See, this is related to the stress which people feel when they go and study in new institutions. They go to an entirely new place, and sometimes people get, mean they get ragged. Now, ragging is a very difficult problem for the students to face. Unfortunately, in some places, it becomes very brutal also. And in such places, people feel very unsafe, unsecure, and that leads to stress. They cannot concentrate on studies because they are ragged or they are bugged all the time by their classmates or hostel mates. Now that becomes very difficult for them, very stressful for them. So these are the primary causes of stress. There are many other causes also because it differs from person to person. But these are the basic common causes for stress. Next, please. Yeah. Now let us come to our own topic. The topic is stress that is caused to the teachers. So let us, till now I have been talking about common issues. Now let me concentrate totally on teachers. What causes stress for teachers? The word stressors comes from stress. Stressors means the issues or the causes for stress. Okay? So stressors for teacher stress, what are they? Number one, working conditions. Somebody raised a hand. Any problem?
No, ma'am. It may be by mistake. You can continue.
Okay, thank you. Working conditions. Working conditions are the biggest problem. Sometimes working conditions are not ideal. See, working conditions are not perfect for anybody. It differs, isn't it? Every institution has some problems. But in some cases, working conditions are very, very bad. Okay. Sometimes it becomes very difficult because of colleagues, because of the management, or because of the students, because of the parents. Something or the other may come up. And these working conditions make teachers very stressful. The next thing is professional responsibilities. Nowadays, we see that there are a lot of responsibilities that are given to teachers apart from teaching. Okay. Previously, teachers had less responsibilities compared to now. Many teachers are overburdened now because they have administrative duties, they have academic duties, they also have extracurricular duties, and they are also supposed to do professional upgrading. So many things together they have to do. So this many professional responsibilities, sometimes it becomes very difficult to balance. Yes. So that is one other cause of stress for teachers. Next is work and salary. In some institutions, unfortunately, salary becomes very difficult because sometimes salary may not be given on time. Sometimes salaries maybe cut because of some other reasons, especially during COVID. I have seen many people struggling because of this, because of online classes and because of lockdown. It was very difficult for salaries, isn't it? So, such conditions, people get stressed, obviously. Okay. And next, unsafe conditions. Now, this also we have experienced during COVID, isn't it? During COVID, some of us had to go and attend to duties in college. Some of us had to go and teach, despite all this epidemic. So, in such conditions, you feel very unsafe because you have to attend to your duties. At the same time, you don't know what will happen, isn't it? Such unsafe conditions also create some stress. Next, large classes. Now, this is increasing, unfortunately. Previously, we used to have small classes, but now they are expanding like anything. And I think that some colleges have even 120 students per class. I have heard that. Usually 60 is the normal figure that is given according to the university regulations in my place. I don't know about other places, but mostly 50, 60 is okay. But sometimes I have heard that some institutions have even 120 students per section, which is very, very large. So, in such conditions, the teacher may feel very stressful. The next, student and teacher. See, the relationship between a student and teacher sometimes is tricky. Sometimes students have some discipline problems. Sometimes students may not understand what the teacher is telling, or sometimes the students have some problems at home which reflect on their behavior in school. Mostly that happens. The indiscipline of the child comes from some problem which he or she is experiencing at home. Okay, so all these things create lot of stress in the teacher as well as the student. Now next, teaching faculty and administrative. Sometimes teachers may have problems with colleagues. Sometimes teachers may have problems with their managements. Okay, those two aspects are very unfortunate. And definitely, such things increase stress in a teacher. Expectations. Now, every teacher always, I think, gets stressed before results, because results are something on which a teacher is judged upon. So that is why results have many parents, teachers, students, everybody has so many expectations regarding results. And in such conditions, it becomes very stressful to the teacher to deliver good results consistently. See, even if they get a very good result in previous semester, this semester, if they don't get immediately, they will have to face consequences, isn't it? So, such conditions increases stress in a teacher. Next, please. Next slide, please. Yeah. Managing stress. How can we manage stress? See, told you stress is inevitable. Nobody can escape stress in any way. Okay. So, how can we manage this stress? Are there some methods? Yes, there are some tips for this. Now, let me tell you these few tips. There are more, at least regarding the given time, I'll be able to give these tips. First one is identify your problem. Always, whenever you feel stressed, you sit quietly for 4 or 5 minutes, close your eyes, take a pen and a paper, and write down. Think and write down what are the problems that are causing you stress. This really helps. Reflect deeply. Think, search where the problem lies, where the root cause lies. You write it down and then you find solution. Because unless you identify the problem, how can we find solution? Isn't it? So that is why first try to reflect and find the root cause of your stress. That's the first thing. Second thing, always take small breaks. Whenever you are working continuously, always take a small break for 10 or 5 minutes. Go to people who are friendly with you. Talk with them for 5 or 10 minutes. That will relax you. Or if you don't find anybody at that time, listen to some nice music or read some nice jokes. Do something to divert yourself from all that stressful environment. So do that in little chunks. Each day, if you take small breaks for 5 minutes or 10 minutes in between, it will keep up your energy. It will keep you focused, it will keep you relaxed, and it will give you less stress. Okay. And next, breathing exercises. This we can do at home, at workplace also. Because you don't need any equipment for breathing exercises. You just have to sit, close your eyes and do. That's it, isn't it? It's a very easy process. So learn breathing exercises. There are many YouTube videos that are available. So please go to internet, find breathing exercises which will suit your physical ability. Okay. So based on that, you do it. And believe me, it helps you really. Because I do it personally. That's why I'm telling. Breathing exercises always help. They give you a lot of energy instantly. And they will divert your mind from situations which are bad around you. Okay. And meditate regularly. Daily meditate at least for a short period. Okay. And take walks. Daily take a walk. 15 minutes is enough. Believe me, 15 minutes is enough. That will help you a lot. Okay. Meditation, walk, and music. Music also helps. Whatever music you like, whichever genre of music you like, play it. Or if you are a singer, very good, sing. If you are a musician, play. Or if you are simply a listener, listen. Anyway, you can enjoy music, isn't it? So make these three things a part of your life. That will definitely reduce stress. I am endorsing this publicly because I have been doing these three things for quite some time. They really help you in stress management. And next is good diet plan. Always eat healthy diet. Okay. Yeah, it's okay to have junk food. Okay, fine. You have that on the side. But always make it a point to have a good diet. Because if you have good diet, you will be physically very fit. And if you're physically fit, you will be mentally fit. Both are related. So that is why having good food at proper time, that is also important. Good food at proper time is very, very important to beat stress. Because if you are hungry most of the, so most of some people, they diet or they stop eating for a few days or they will alter that schedule. So if you're hungry all the time, you won't think properly. You'll get angry, you'll become irritable, you'll get more stressed. So please don't do any of such things when you're working. Okay? Yes. And next, declutter your mind and space. Decluttering is very important. Whether it is your office or whether it is your home, wherever you work, you have a place where you work at home, isn't it? Yeah. Similarly, you have a place where you work in your workplace. So those two places, they should be very neat, very clean. Always keep everything, all your stuff organized. Now, when you do that, it will save you a lot of time. Some important document, if you keep it somewhere and forget, it will create stress, isn't it? So that is why clean your workspace. Clean workspace, clean and learn to say no effectively. Yeah, this is also important. Please don't accept any work which you can't do. See, if it is beyond your capacity, just to impress someone, please don't take a work because you will be in big trouble later on. Okay. And not only that, if somebody is trying to put their work on you, please don't accept. Be very assertive. You need not be rude. We need not fight. We need not shout. You can simply very nicely say you can't do it. Okay. So learn to say no effectively. You should know when to say no. You should know when to say yes. Isn't it? Next, no gossip, no ranting. Don't complain about anybody in your workplace. That is a big no. Okay. Don't complain about anybody. Don't gossip. Don't carry things. Because when you carry things, people carry things about you. Isn't it? So it becomes too much and that will create lot of stress and negative atmosphere in the workplace. So if somebody gossips also, please tell them, no, don't tell me all those things. Say some nice things. Let us talk nice things. Okay. And next, collaborate. Yeah. Try to make friends who are who have the same interests of as of you and who are ready to help you. Okay. You help them grow and they will help you grow. That is the nice collaborative effort in a workplace which will take you ahead, which will relieve stress. See, if you have such colleagues, you are really blessed. Okay. So try to find people who have the same mindset as you. Okay. Yeah, that will also help in reducing stress. Next, please. Managing teacher stress. This is continuation to the previous topic. Discuss strategies collaboratively. Now, when you collaborate, discuss what you're doing in your class. Okay, with someone who is doing the same thing. See, if we are teaching English, some 4 or 5 of us are there handling a particular course. We all sit together and discuss how we are going about it. Which lessons are we taking up in the first mid? And how we are going about it? What is the lesson plan that we are going to do? And how we are going to execute it? So, what is the lab schedule? How we are going to execute it? So, these things you sit, talk, decide, and you follow the plan. That way, when you are doing this, you can divide the tasks so that one person will handle this part, the other person will handle that part, so that the work becomes easy for all of us. See, if you can work it out that way, stress will be less. Okay. And teacher evaluation should concentrate more on improving teaching quality than finding fault. Now, this is for management. This point is for management. Now, whenever management, at the end of the year, whenever management evaluates the teachers, the process differs from institution to institution. Some institutions have student feedback. They take only student feedback. Some take the HOD as well as the student feedback. Some institutions, I have seen that they conduct a kind of an exam at the end of the year, and based on the performance of the teachers, they will decide. And some institutions, I have heard that they will ask for a demo. So it keeps differing from institution to institution. So whichever way it is, the institution should always concentrate on not finding faults but finding solutions. See, if we can find solutions more than finding faults, everything will be so nice. Nobody will be stressed, isn't it? Yes. But it may not happen ideally, I know. Let us be practical. It may not happen ideally, but still, we can always aim for it. We can always work towards it, isn't it? Okay. Now, next, we have to provide training facilities within the institution. Within the institution, we have to provide training facilities. Most of the time, what happens is uh, teachers who are starting very young, the freshers, they don't get adequate training. They're simply thrust into the class and they have to give good performance. That it becomes very difficult and burdensome for them. So in such cases, if institution takes it upon itself and provides good training sessions for the teachers, the stress will be very less. And not only stress, the results will be very good, isn't it? Ultimately, the students will benefit if we train our teachers. So I think management should concentrate on providing training facilities to the teachers. If they are not able to provide training by themselves in house, they can at least sponsor the teachers to go somewhere and get trained, isn't it? Give them leave or give them permission to go and get training. That also will help. Next, understanding teacher emergencies. Now, management should also understand that family life is very, very important for the teacher, isn't it? If the family is safe, then the teacher is able to concentrate 100% on the job. If the family is not safe, if they have some problem, the teacher will not be able to give her or his 100% in the school or college, isn't it? So that is why understanding the teacher emergencies and supporting them during their difficulties will also help in reducing stress. And next, recognize and reward teachers. Rewarding teacher is very, very important. Rewarding need not be something very big. Some kind words, some little benefit, that will always cheer up a teacher, isn't it? Teachers are very, very accommodative. They get happy very easily. So that is why the management should recognize and reward teachers befittingly. And next, address teachers' complaints without destroying teachers' morale. See, sometimes some teachers may get complaints from the parents or the students or something like that. In such conditions, management should be very, very unbiased. They should be very diplomatic and they should address the problem without hurting the teacher. Because if the teacher is hurt, the stress will increase. And that will reflect on the whole class, not just one person. The entire class of students will suffer because of that. So that is why management should handle such problems diplomatically. Next, please. Yeah. So now we are finished with stress. Let us come to the next part of the presentation, time management. Now, what is time management? See, all of us have same time every day, isn't it? 24 hours. And but still, the way we use those 24 hours makes all the difference, isn't it? How we use those 24 hours. That is where the success of a person lies. How best they can use those 24 hours. So that using how best those 24 hours is called time management. Okay. So time management is the process of organizing and planning how to divide your time between different activities. So time management is nothing but planning how you have to spend your 24 hours wisely. Okay? Yeah. So, next slide. Effects of poor time management. What happens if the time is not managed properly? Definitely, it will lead to stress. This is where the two topics are interrelated. Okay? If you're not able to manage your time properly, it will definitely lead to stress. So, for stress management, you have to first do time management. If you are able to manage your time properly, you can manage your stress very easily. Okay? So, invest your energy and your planning in time management. So, poor time management can lead to stress and can create performance problems and can give bad reputation. See, if you are not able to deliver something on time, it will reflect very badly on your character, isn't it? Professionally, you will get a bad name. So, time management is very important. And finally, if you don't have good time management, both your personal life as well as the professional life will suffer. There won't be any balance between the two. And it will create lot of stress, unnecessary burden, and it will even spoil the quality of life which we have. So, time management will help solve these problems. Next, please. Tips for time management. How can we manage time? The first thing is goal setting. Okay. Now, what types of goals should we have? They say we should have SMART goals. What are SMART goals? S for specific, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for realistic, and T for time bound. These are the 5 types of goals which we should have. They are the SMART goals. SMART. SMART. Okay. So the first one is specific. What is specific? Now, when we are setting a goal, set a goal precisely. See, today I am taking a class. So, what is my specific goal? To teach adjectives, to teach verbs, or to teach past tense, or to teach articles. So, goal should be specific. Measurable. Goal should be measurable. I should be able to finish one lesson today, or I should be able to finish 2 pages today. I should be able to finish 3 exercises today. So, measurable. Okay. Achievable. I have 1 hour of time in my class. So, I should be able to teach 55 minutes. Isn't it? Yeah. So, in that 55 minutes, I should be able to finish this topic. It should be achievable. Okay. You should not overburden. Next, realistic. Today I am teaching this topic. At least 90% of the students should be able to understand and perform well in this topic. Realistic. Okay. You can't say 100% of the students because that is not realistic. Okay. Next, time bound. Within the semester, I should be able to finish these topics. Time bound. Okay. So your goal should be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. Now, if you keep goals like this, smart goals like this, there will be no stress. Okay. Next, conduct the time audit. What is a time audit? You have to sit for 5 or 10 minutes and take a paper, pen, and write down all the tasks that you're going to do every day. Okay. Now, see, Just for yourself, you just map and see. That is called mapping. Okay. See where are the time slots that you are working. Where are the time slots that are free? You make a distinction between these two. Now, when you get a clear idea, these are the time slots I am working, and these are the time slots I have free. You see which tasks you can do in that small chunks. See, there is 1 hour today here in my timetable that is free. There is a 2 hour slot here in my timetable that is free. So, like that, if you are able to see, you plan accordingly. Now, this is the task. I have to correct papers today. So, these papers I can correct in 1 hour. So, when am I going to do this? In this 1 hour slot, which is free. And I have to prepare notes or I have to prepare assignments for my students. That will take 40 minutes. So, when I am going to do this? In this break, where I have 40 minutes free. So, like that, you see and designate where you are going to do what. Okay. So, that will help you identify and map how you have to work. That is mapping. Next is hacking. What is hacking? Hacking is when you see the free slot. Suppose I have 1 hour free slot. What can I do in this 1 hour? Something solid 1 hour I can do, or else two half an hours. I can do something, two tasks, two half an hour tasks in it, isn't it? That is hacking. Mapping is identifying. Hacking is how you can chunk your work. And next, create. What is creation? You are creating a list of what you have to do in those free chunks of time. And estimate. Estimate how much time it will take to complete the task. And last one is batching. What is batching? Batching is combining tasks. Suppose I have to do correct my assignments. Okay. So what can I batch with this? I can do corrections. I can post the marks. I can put them in the register and I can submit. All these tasks I can do it together because all of them are related, isn't it? So like that you see which tasks are related and combine them and do them in a single batch so that you will be finished with that. Okay. Sometimes suppose I am designing a paper, question paper. So designing a paper, typing it, sending it to the exam department, all those things are related, isn't it? So all the tasks together I bunch and do them in 1 hour. Okay. So like that, you always map, hack, create, estimate, batch. So that is how you have to work. Okay. And next, prioritize your tasks. This is also very important. Okay. Whenever you have tasks, you put them in 4 slots. Whichever slot they belong to, you put them in that slot. Isn't it? See, first slot is important and urgent. Second slot is important but not urgent. Third one is urgent but not important. And fourth one is urgent but important. Now, what type of planning should we do for this? If there is something very important and urgent, you do it right away. You finish it off that time itself, the first type. The second type, it is important, but it is not urgent. So you note them in a diary and you keep, yeah, this is the time I'm going to do that. Finish that. Okay, that is the second type. The third type is important but not urgent. So this you can find some assistant to do it for you. The third type of task. Important, urgent but not important. The fourth type of task, you can postpone it and do it tomorrow. Okay. So this is how you have to identify how the task is, and based on the priority of the task, you have to do the work. Okay, if it is very important, finish it now itself. If it is not so important, put a time and do it at that time. If it is okay, dele- delegate it to someone. If it is not so important at all, you can do it later. So, like that, you always organize, see which is what type of a task, and do it accordingly. Okay. Next, set a time limit. This is also very important. For everything, we have to set a time limit. Suppose I have 3 bundles of paper to do today. So then what am I going to do? I have to finish these bundles within 60 minutes or within two chunks of 30 minutes. Like that, you make a plan and do it. Okay. Reward yourself. Now, this is also important, isn't it? Now, whenever we finish a task, celebrate. Celebrate with a chocolate, celebrate with a fruit, celebrate with a cup of tea with your friend, something like that. Something which will lift your mood, something which will make your stress less. Okay. And next, rest before intense work. Sometimes you have a period of exams or a period of revision before exams, which is very intense. And such times you may have to take extra classes, give extra coaching to the student. So many things will be there. Okay. At such times, you prepare yourself mentally. Yeah, next 4 5 days, I will be busy. So eat good food at that time. Take plenty of rest when you get home, or when you rest before itself, you take some rest and go. And after work, finishing everything, you can take some rest. Okay. Like that, we have to plan. We have to mentally always push ourselves, make ourselves ready to face things. Okay. And the next one is the Pomodoro technique. Now, Pomodoro technique is popularized by a person called Francesco Cirillo. Okay, Pomodoro is a French word. It means tomato. Okay. Now, why did he use this tomato word? He made a timer which looks red like a tomato. Okay. Now, this timer can be set up. Okay, I think all of us have stopwatches in our mobile phones, isn't it? It is something like that, but it looks like a tomato. Okay, why did he do this? He said, before you start any task, set the timer for 10 minutes or 20 minutes, or depending on the size of the work that you have. He says, you set the timer, put it and start working. And you should finish the work before the timer stops. Okay. And as soon as you finish, you will reward yourself. That is the technique he has proposed. Not just for teachers. He said this will work for everybody. So that is why he named it as Pomodoro technique, because the timer is that looks like a tomato. Okay. So this became very popular. Now we need not buy that tomato timer. We have our own timers in our mobile phones. So we can use them and set a time for a task and do it. Okay. Next, delegate. Whatever I told you, whatever is not so urgent, whatever doesn't need your individual attention, you can always delegate it. If you can get it done by somebody who is trustworthy, give it to them. And similarly, you also help them when they need. So it should be mutual, isn't it? Yeah. Next, tips for time management. Next, please. Yeah. This is a continuation of the previous slide. Tips for time management. Take small breaks. Never work continuously, because that will tire you extremely. So always keep taking small breaks throughout the day. 10 minutes break, 5 minutes break, something. Okay. Synchronize lesson plans and homework assignments. This every teacher should do before starting the semester itself. Okay. Whenever we are planning for the semester, it is better to sit all together, plan and take a calendar, see all the mm, vacation and festivals and all those dates you take out, see how many days are there, and depending on that you make lesson plans and homework assignments also. So by this time this lesson will complete, then this assignment should be given. So like that you have to synchronize everything so that there won't be any gaps and time wasted in between the assignments. Okay. And make tasks student centric. Always plan tasks in such a way that the student works, not the teacher, isn't it? The teacher should only design the question paper. The work should be done by the student. If we do everything and just give a fill in the blank, it won't be an assignment at all, isn't it? So that is why make the student work, make the student learn. That is the purpose of assignment. So that is why make the tasks student centric. See to it that the student works on it. Use grading techniques. Whenever we grade, if we grade based on rubrics, it becomes easy. So always see to it that I am giving this many marks for writing, this many marks for presentation, this many marks for grammar. Like that, if you think and give, it is easy to grade. You can grade faster. Okay. So try to evolve a method which will make grading simpler. So it differs from person to person. That's why I'm not telling it elaborately. Because personally, I have my own calculation. When I do grading, I have my own calculation depending on the rubrics. So I keep that in mind and work. So like that, you also have develop your own system of rubrics. And based on that, you start grading. It becomes an easier task. And next, plan for potential crisis. Yeah, because something or the other unexpectedly will happen because we can't escape that. Life is like that, isn't it? So always plan for potential crisis. Always plan for emergency lessons. See, sometimes suddenly we go one day and suddenly we come to know that some teacher is not coming. So we have to engage that class also. So it is always better to be prepared for 4 or 5 classes ahead. Okay. So that if some emergency comes, you can use this task there. You understand? Yeah. So like that, we have to prepare for potential crisis. And next, gadget ban for optimal work. We always tell our students, don't use mobile while studying. Don't listen to music while studying. We keep telling that. And we should follow that first. Okay. As teachers, we should follow that first. We should ban the media while we are working because that will make work simple, faster, and efficient. You will make less mistakes, isn't it? So that's why no gadgets, because during work they will divert you. Next is no multitasking. Now, when you are working, please don't multitask. Please don't study 2 subjects at a time or 2 papers at a time. Or please don't listen to music and do grading simultaneously. Some people do that. It's not a good thing because you will make mistakes. So next is develop time blocks. As I told you, chunk the time. Chunk wherever you can get solid 1 hour or 2 hours, block it and say that I am blocking this time for my work. So I'm finishing this task within this time block. So like that you keep block. Next is eat the frog. Eat the frog is a technique given by Mark Twain. Mark Twain, I think as all of you know, is an American humorist. He wrote many funny works. So he gave this idea of eating the frog. Now frog is a very slimy thing, isn't it? You feel very, you don't feel like touching a frog because it looks so muddy and slimy, isn't it? So he says, eat the frog. What does it mean? Eat the frog means do the most unpleasant task first. He says, if you have 10 tasks in front of you, do the most difficult, most boring, most annoying task first. Because if you finish that first, the rest of the things are easy. You will be working very happily and freely. Okay. So he says, do the difficult things first. Doing the difficult thing first is called eating the frog. Okay. So he says, eat the frog first. And if you have finished eating the frog, the rest of the work is very easy to do, very happy to do. Okay. And next, tech savvy. Please learn technology. Keep abreast of times. Learn technology because technology will simplify your work. So that is why we all have to learn technology to some extent at least to simplify our tasks and to do work in a faster and a more efficient way. Next slide, please. Benefits of time management. What happens when you manage your time well? There are many benefits. The first thing is more time for teaching. When you finish your tasks ahead of the time, then you will be left with lot of time for teaching. You can teach very conveniently, very happily, very slowly. You can devote time more for teaching if you finish all other tasks. And there will be a good life balance, work and life balance. See, when we are able to do everything on time, there won't be any stress, isn't it? And when there is no stress, you will have a very peaceful life. You will have a happy work life and happy professional life as well as happy personal life, both. You will get good student outcomes. Students will get good results. If you are able to deliver well, students also will deliver well. You will be able to motivate them to do well. So, there will be good student outcomes. And when there is good student outcome, professionally it will be satisfying for you. You will get job satisfaction. And definitely it will control your stress, and definitely you will become more efficient. You will become a very good worker. And if you are doing all these things, definitely you will grow professionally. You will reach to greater heights. So that is why time management will help you in every aspect of life. So that is why I think we should say time management is nothing but life management. Okay? Next slide, please. Yes, that is what it is. Time management is life management. If you manage your time well, your life will be well managed and you will have a very happy and satisfying professional as well as personal lives. So, this is my seminar today. Thank you for your patience. If you have any queries, please, I'm ready.